Ready to go.
Ready. YouTube's waiting still.
Here you go. The key word to a success. The key word to a successful relationship, I learned through years of therapy, is empathy. Empathy is really important to have a successful relationship. And nowadays, I have a lot of empathy for the Wham viewers who watch our channel. And the empathy I have for them are the ones who are in the position where we all make mistakes in life. We all have challenges, we hiccups. Life happens. And when it does, it affects our credit. And when it affects our credit, we're that one collection, the one charge off, the one derogatory away from qualifying for a home or getting a better deal. Because of our desperation, which I have a lot of empathy for this desperation now, they get letters from credit repair companies or people calling and say, I can fix your credit, I can delete your collections, I can remove your late. And people fork out their money and they realize the credit repair person ghosts them, has some excuse why it's not falling off, why it's taking forever. And the buyer's dreams are crushed and they get over it and they stay renting and they stay in this renter cycle because someone told them something that never happened. And tonight, guys, on What's a Mortgage, I want to debunk all that. Right? If you are first time watching What's a Mortgage, the goal of our channel is to educate, empower, and to inform you on what's a mortgage. And tonight we have on FICA, right, from Brighter Future Credit Counseling, and she's here to soothe you because I have the empathy to bring her on to help you understand it. Can these collections be deleted? Can these lates be deleted? Right? Tonight, I'm going to give you a chance to ask her any question you want on credit, on collection and deletions, on derogs. Is it possible? Is it a hoax? Should you pay for credit repair? Tonight, we're going to answer that question on is credit repair real? And as can we really delete these collections or are they on there forever? All right. What's up, FICA? Let's bring her on.
Hello, hello.
Hi, FICA. How you doing? 1 second, FICA. We're having a little problem with the camera here. Bring you on. Here you go. See here. Split. 1 second here. 1 second here. So, FICA, how you doing today? Good, good, good. Thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you and your WHAM family.
So I know you're working with a lot of our WHAM clients, and sometimes when you're busy, other people other credit repair. Check this out. Other credit repair people who don't get to make it to you, or they don't want to ask directly, hey, can I get FICA's number? That one time you went on, they see other credit repair people are watching people comment on deleting collections, and what they're doing is they're reaching out to these consumers. So these consumers think they're what's the mortgage credit repair people, and they're going through them, giving them their money for credit repair, trying to tell them they're going to delete their collections, delete their lates, that they're going to be able to get this home, and nothing happens. I have posted a couple of credit repair ideas on my feed, but it came from people I just posted the feed, even though I know it's a fact they can do it, because whoever I posted the feed from, they reached out to that person. They weren't really affiliated with me, and they went with that person, and boom, they lost their money, and then they didn't get their home. So tonight, I really wanted you to be on here so we can debunk all these issues regarding these collections. Right, Andy? We're getting close. Andy, you there?
Sorry, Minh. Hey, can you give me a minute and let me fix this?
Yeah.
Can you just pause everything?
Yeah.
Just
So
you're still
before you
live.
get-
I need you
I
to
know.
just pause everything for a second.
Okay, give me 1 second here. We're fixing the. This is what happens when you do live. So we're getting it fixed. So give me 1 second here, guys. Wonder what it is. So guys, if you have a question regarding credit repair or regarding collections or deletions, please comment below, And as we're going through the repair of her screen right now, I'll make sure she answers all your questions. It's your first time tuning in, do me a huge favor, guys. Please hit the subscribe and notification button so you're notified every time we go live or post new comments. We go live once a week on Monday nights at 9 p.m. and we post content daily on Instagram and TikTok. If you're not following us on Instagram and TikTok, please go ahead and do so. Go to the Instagram or the TikTok and look up What's a Mortgage and follow us. It does help us out a lot, so please do so. Can you delete Chargeoff? We will answer that question in a second. Brian Walker. See here.
1 second. 1 second.
Okay. Are we getting close?
Yeah, we're getting close. Just 1
All right,
second.
guys, we're almost there. Can they hear FICA?
Yes, they should be able to. Yeah.
Okay, so FICA, what's the best way to raise your credit score? Okay, we'll get to that, Manny. Actually, since you guys have been patient, FICA, can you? So Brian Walker from Facebook has a question. Can you delete a charge-off?
Yes, but it depends on, do you still owe them, how old it is, and what the company is. So everything on a credit report can be deleted. It all comes down to us finding any law or error that happened when the item was reported. And that's all it's going to come down to. So once we look at an item, we'll identify it. From there, we fight it. So there's a lot of back and forth with the credit bureaus. Depending on what the credit bureaus say back to us, we will reply again. And so, yes, we can get a charge off, but there's a lot of factors that go into that.
Question I have for you is when you look at the credit report, can you tell by looking at the credit report, or when you see a charge off, what gives you the sign it can be deleted and when it cannot be deleted?
So the factors that I look for that are more important is if I try to fight a charge off, will this client get sued? That's always my primary concern. So I will look at the dollar amount, if there is a dollar amount owed, and the last time a payment was made. And if it falls under statute, then I'll in most cases recommend the client to pay it, and then I will fight it after it's paid. But if it's a charge off that's past statute, I know the creditor's not going to spend a lot of time giving the credit bureaus the documents or fighting me with the laws that I'm presenting to them. And then I know we have a much better chance. If it's uncollectible or it's paid, then we have a higher chance. And the creditor matters too. So who is it? That's another thing that I look for.
So you said that statute. So what do you mean? Where's that statute? Is it on the credit? So let's say can they bring you a Credit Karma credit report, or does it have to be a mortgage credit report? Can it be any credit report?
Any credit report that's within the last 60 days. It doesn't matter where they got it from.
Hopefully they help
as long as it's accurate, as long as it's real accounts. Yeah.
All right, Manny. I mean, hopefully that helps you out there, Brian. Manny Niquada has a question. What's the best way to raise a credit score? Like right now, if I need to pop a credit score, what do you feel is the best way?
If you have credit card balances, bring them down to 9%. That'll improve your score drastically. Another thing is getting credit history. So if you have insufficient credit history, getting some credit history added will also help. These are some quick fixes that you can, do that'll work the fastest. And, ultimately, don't run your credit if you don't have to. Don't max out your cards, pay your bills on time, et cetera, all those things that you need to do to have good credit.
Okay. I'm going to answer this question for David too. Yes, you can get a loan where you take a high enough interest rate. It will cover all your closing costs. No matter what lender you use, no matter what service you buy, there are costs. You're either going to pay up front, or they're going to roll it into the interest rate, or they're going to roll it into the interest rate. So you can take a rate that will cover all the costs. Hopefully that helps you out, David. You just got to see is it worth it to you. Jolene Sophia, what company do you recommend? Of course, we recommend FICA's company, all right? Brighter Future Credit Consulting. So definitely, Jolene, if you want, just we'll put her end card up in a second, and you can reach out to her regarding her information on credit repair. So we highly recommend her. She's someone that she's been doing business with us for over 2 years. sometimes she does get busy, guys. So I would do it sooner than later and be patient. You know, one of the biggest pet peeves that I have is, oh, she's not answering or she's not moving quick enough, right? And that's not her fault. During pandemic, it was hard for the bureaus to maneuver. But she's also a busy person and she does everything herself. So she's not relying on 10 other people. She wants it done right. So if you do reach out to her, be patient. Don't, because you fell in love with the home, she can't just whoop up a FICO score tomorrow to deliver. Okay. So Brian's question, Brian has a good one here. The collection, the charge off he has is $300 over 2 years old. Should he pay it or not?
I would say yes, because it's going to help your credit score. And then if it needs to be deleted, it'll be easier. And can I ask what bank? So here's what I say about charge offs. If you ever want to have a relationship,
Brian, this is for you. First of all, this is Brian Walker. This is for you.
This is for you, Brian. So if you ever want to, just like, okay, I'll give an example. Min, if I let you borrow, $300 and you never paid me back, and then you come back to me in 5 years and you're like, FICA can have more money. I'm going to say, no, Brian, no, Min, I don't want to do business with you. So same like a charge off. So if you have a bank that you care about, that you want to do business with, pay them back in full. If you don't care about that bank because it's a smaller bank, you can negotiate it. As far as how it's going to affect your credit, it's already a charge off. The damage is already done. It's still going to show a 0 if you paid in full. It's still going to show a 0 if you settle it.
So the first question I have actually was the second question. Since we're doing all this, I'm just like doing it off the top of my head right now. So so let's go to collections. So you just said if I paid off 0, if I pay off a collection, so the urban legend is if you pay off a collection, then it hurts your credit score because you're admitting fault. So if I want to buy a home and I have this collection for $1,000 on there, that's 3 years old. Do I pay that $1,000 or do I not pay that $1,000?
Okay, so we're talking about 2 different things. I just want to give clarity to everyone that's listening. So when we were talking to Brian, we were talking about a charge off, right? Now, so what I said earlier, yes, pay the charge off because it is going to help your credit score. Paying a collection does not help your credit score because once you pay it off, it actually re-ages it, which will lower your credit score. In the event that the collection is $1,000, I would have to see what the collection was, and then I'll make my recommendation. The only time I'm ever going to make a recommendation to pay a collection is only if they're going to sue you. Otherwise, I will never tell you to pay a collection, and I will always try to get it deleted.
Okay. Second question. Actually, that's a good one. What is a deletion letter, and how do you get one? Some people think deletion letters are fake. There's no such thing. I myself have seen one. Not from Verizon, I know that for a fact, but it's from like normally the smaller companies that want their money because they bought the debt. So are these deletion letters real? How can I get a lender to send me one? And also, like, they want my money before they send it to me. I'm afraid to send them the money. I had a client that they sent the money and they sent him not a deletion letter, so they lied to him. It was a letter of like paid in full, which brought their credit score down. So are these deletion letter real?
Yes. So yeah, that's exactly why I said don't pay the collection. So yes. So you guys, these collection companies are going to lie to you through their teeth. They want their money. Min is correct. So this is how, yes, first of all, a deletion letter is real, but paying your collection does not necessarily mean they're going to delete it. And as Min said, his client got a letter that said paid in full. That is not a deletion letter, you guys. Paid in full is not a deletion letter. If it doesn't say deletion, that is not a deletion letter. The good thing is, if that does happen, they're pretty easy to get deleted. It just takes a little time. Now, going back to
what do you mean like get easy?
So first of all, you guys, you know that when you have a collection, you've never legally signed a contract with any of these people. So when we go to the collection company, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So when you go to the collection company and the account is paid to 0, and we ask them for documents to prove the debt, they will not spend the time to look for it. Therefore, in most cases, they will delete it. So if it has been paid and that did happen to someone, It's usually very easy to fix. It's not 100% easy to fix, but 95% of the time it's an easy fix. Okay. Doesn't happen overnight again. Okay. But now going back to the deletion letter and how to get one. Now, if you are making a offer for a collection, in most cases, if you're going to not be paying in full, more than likely you will not be getting that deletion letter. It's possible they might lie to you and say you're still going to get it, but you may not. It's usually, if you're going to pay it in full, that they're more likely to give it to you if that's something that they offer. And they're always going to tell you that they don't offer it, but guess what? They do. Okay. And here's the way to get it. So if I was talking to a collection company, I would say, this is exactly, you guys, if you want to write this down, this is exactly what I would say.
Annie, make sure we clip this, okay?
Yeah. So I would say, you know, hi, Jane Doe. I recently pulled my credit report. I saw you on there and I don't know who you are because I've never signed a legal contract with you. But I am willing to take care of this collection for a deletion letter. That is exactly what you would like to say, okay? Then you make sure that Jane Doe knows you know her name, okay? Because the more you repeat her name, the more she knows that you're listening and she's less likely to lie to you. Also, if you're able to speak to a supervisor, they're less likely to lie to you because they don't get part of the commissions like those operators do, okay? The operators at collection companies usually get part of whatever they collect from you. And if I do talk to Jane Doe and we do agree upon a deletion letter, I will have her notate my account. I will make her repeat back exactly what she wrote under the notes. So I will say, Jane Doe, you and I have agreed once I pay X amount of money, you have agreed to delete this account. Is that correct? Can you notate my account? Now, if Jane Doe goes into your account and she says, client has agreed to pay X amount of money and we will send them a settled letter. That is not a deletion letter. And they do stuff like that, you guys, all the time. So make sure that it says deletion and in her notes, it says deletion.
How can you see the notes yourself? I just got caught scratching my armpit.
I can literally hear, I listen to see if they're typing. I will listen for it. And if you're saying all that, the chances are very, very slim that they're going to lie to you, especially if you've asked them to notate your account and then repeat it back. And especially if you're speaking to a supervisor. But if you're not allowing them to see that you're listening and you don't even know who you're talking to and you're not paying attention, you're not asking them to notate your account, then it's quite possible you have a high chance of them lying.
Cool. So next question, right? We have some good Q&A ones. So I'm gonna get through some of these that are very popular. What's the difference before we get into the Q&A? Because I see there's a stack of Q&A. What is the difference between a charge-off and a collection?
Okay, the charge-off is usually owned by the original creditor, and you cannot legally say, I don't know who you are, because they will prove it. With a collection company, however, you can legally say, I don't know who you are. I've never signed a legal contract with you, because it's a third party. Paying a collection also will lower your credit score. Paying a charge-off will actually help your credit score. That's the other difference.
Okay, no, I'm going to do one more question before I go to Q&A. Can people say this all the time? They can get rid of lates, 30-day lates within, like if the lates happen within a year, because lenders care about a late in the past 24 months.
Right.
After 24 months, the lender really doesn't care about the late. It's kind of like gotten aged already. More derogatory credit ages, the better it is for you, right? Always deal with someone like FICA before you decide to deal with that derog. If there's a late within 24 months, a credit card late, or a car payment late, are those realistically deletable, or these credit repair companies are just taking people money? The truth.
So when I see a client, I always say it's a 50-50 chance. I am very, very, very clear on that when it comes to a late. With that said, during this last year, I have seen more lates deleted than I ever have in the over 20 years that I've been doing this. So when I have a client that has a late payment, I will ask them exactly how the payment was made. There's a lot of questions I go through when it's a late. Based on exactly what they say, I have them call the company back and say exactly what I have told them to say. At least it gets notated in the file, and then we go and we fight it. But you guys never, ever, ever, did I say ever, admit that it was your fault because a lot of times it is the bank's fault, believe it or not.
I don't see that happening. Okay, if that's what you, I'm
It
with you on that,
is.
girl. All right, Stephanie
We go-
Macia. Stephanie
There's-
Macia has a question. Can medical collections stop flagging your credit once payment plan has been set?
So that is, again, an agreement that you have to set up when you start making those arrangements. If you're already making an arrangement with a collection company, you can at that time negotiate them either deleting it. Usually they'll do it when the payment is full, but that's something you want to negotiate in the front end when you come to the agreement of starting a payment plan.
Awesome, thank you. So Marif de Montserrat asks, who's the right people to help you out to pay for collections you owe? Do I have to go through a credit repair company or directly to the company where I owe? So do they pay it? So they want to know, with these collections, do credit repair companies, do they pay it? The credit repair companies deal with negotiating it, or do they have to negotiate it?
So you never pay a collection you would never pay a credit repair company to pay the collection. You would always pay it. And I think I've said this a lot of times, and I'm going to say it again. Do not pay a collection unless you are advised properly. So the best thing to do is, yes, reach out to someone that can advise you properly if it should even be paid or not. And then through my program, I will teach you how to negotiate it. They will talk to us. So we can't call them anyway. So only talk to you.
Okay, awesome. And then, so this is Mahel Monica. I'll answer this question. Will the lender still count collections for medical bills to be paid, or will it be omitted? If it is a medical collection and there's a balance, there's a payment, they will omit it. Only medical collections. If there is a collection with a monthly payment, right, they can add that to your debt to income ratio. If there's no monthly payments on your collections and the collections are under 2,000, they leave it alone. If it's over 2,000, they take the balance, they times it by 5%, and that's what they add to your DTI. Hopefully that helps you out there. See here, question. See, okay, here's one. I'll answer one. Do multiple mortgage companies, credit pull with multiple lenders count as one inquiry? No. Each lender that runs your credit will be another hard inquiry. A hard inquiry could be 2 to 10 points. So when you go with a lender, one lender will run your credit. I suggest you take that credit report and you shop it within 3 to 4 different lenders. Of course, you're in the 760s or above, it's really not going to change your day. The only time it gets really touchy-feely is when you're in that 620 to 700. 10 points can drop you from conventional to FHA. If you're in conventional, your PMI, if you had a 740, it drops to 700, can bring your PMI down. I suggest you have one lender shop your loan, like one lender run your credit, shop your loan, and when you're ready to go into escrow, what I would do is I would tell all the lenders, this is my FICO score, give me my what my new rate is right now. Whoever has the best deal, go with them. But if they run your credit and your credit drops, you put your tail between your legs, you run back to your old lender who has a good credit score, show them that loan estimate, and have them match it. Hopefully that helps you out.
Honestly, Minh, I just want to honestly applaud you. Minh had that on one of our questions, and I asked him to remove it. But every lender, or 90% of the lenders that I know, will lie to you about that. So thank you, Minh, for telling everyone the truth, because it even happened today. A lender was telling my client, oh, it's okay, we could all run your credit. I was like, whoa, wait a minute there. So thank you. That is absolutely correct.
Thank you. So they have to put it, I'm trying to read through the question here. So this lady, Stephanie, in the middle of escrow, waiting for new construction to rerun numbers for a better interest rate and down payment assistance, but medical collector keeps flagging my credit and bringing down the score. What do you recommend?
I would say how much is it for? And just offer to pay the darn thing and have them out of your hair if it's that small and you could do it. Ask for a deletion, negotiate it,
but
and get them out of your hair.
If it's a medical collection, if they pay it, will it bring down the FICO and they won't qualify since it's a collection they paid off?
That's what I'm saying. So what they're doing is they're going to negotiate the deletion before they pay it. Yeah. Okay. So if they're willing to delete it and this will stop it, I would say offer to pay them to get them out of your hair.
Yeah. So Stephanie, yeah, I like what FICA said. So just to let you know, with collections, they report every month. So if they keep reporting that collection, even though that balance or the payment's not added to your DTI, if they keep reporting, it's going to affect your credit. So what I would do, Stephanie, if you can't fight that collection, you got to counteract that credit. So I would look at my debts, because if you can minimize your utilization or add a trade line with a high limit with a low balance that can disrupt them hitting your credit, I would do that if you can do that. If it might, you got to see what's right. Or would you recommend that if I looked at collection, they keep hitting it, if I can get a high enough trade line with a low enough balance, will that counteract the collection company, or no? If I can, that's just my guess.
Yes, it can, but we would have to see her credit report because she might already have that, right? And then the history too. So maybe adding on some history with a higher limit could help. But if she already has that, then we already know that's really not going to help her. So it's not a real black and white answer. I'd have to see the report.
Okay, awesome. Let me see here. I'm reading the questions. I'm scrolling down here. Give me 1 second. For collections account greater than 2 years old, is it better to leave it alone, or should I attempt a settlement? I've been told contacting collection agencies will restart timeline.
Okay,
From
so
Cheryl, Miss Hensko.
Okay, contacting them does not restart anything. It's from the time you last made a payment, 30 days later, you went into default, and that's what started the timeline, and now they legally have 4 years to collect. Again, I've said this over and over again, you guys do not pay collections. I never, ever, ever recommend paying a collection. Why? Unless they're going to sue you, or if they're willing to delete it. Those are the only two instances that I would ever say pay a collection. So if you want to settle it, that's probably, unless they're going to delete it, not a good idea. Unless they're going to sue you, then yes, you definitely need to take care of that.
Okay. Shondi Davis. How long does it take for a bankruptcy to be removed?
Okay, so they legally can stay on your report for 10 years, but I mean, I can get it off the next day if, we're able to find error, but that's not the problem. The problem is, even if I clean it off of your credit, the lender still can see it because it's a public record, because they either run LexisNexis or FraudGuard, and it will still show up.
Awesome. Well, that's a good. I will remember that one. That was a good one. That was a good one. That was really good. I get asked that question all the time. Like, what happens if I can delete the bankruptcy? I'm like, they're gonna find it. They'll find it.
They will.
I'll answer this one. Marif Montserrat, is Credit Karma tells your real credit score? It's a real credit score because it's a real number. But Credit Karma uses Vantage Score 3 to judge your credit. Mortgage companies use FICO Score 2, 4, and 5. Right? So there's a difference between a credit bureau and a credit company that pulls credit. A credit bureau is TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian, right? So when you want to get a credit score, you're going to go, the bureaus will run the credit. Depending on who's requesting the credit, they will run the credit under that model. So when you want to buy a home, they're going to run FICO Score 2, 4, and 5 for Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. If you want to get a student loan, or in a credit card, they run FICO Score 8. If you want to get a car loan, they run Auto FICO Score. So depending on who you borrow money from, they will give you a credit score. And to them, that credit score is real to that credit scoring model. So the score is real, but to the model of Credit Karma, not to the model of where you want to use to buy a home. Does that meet your expectation there?
You're right on point. Right on point.
Okay. My wife's credit card account through her former credit union is in a payment plan via the court system. I was an authorized user, but I can't get off of it because the pending payment plan lawsuit. Is there anything I can do to get off as an authorized user?
No, because of the pending lawsuit. We can try to delete it off your credit report, but that still doesn't mean that you're not legally liable because you're already been sued on it.
So you can delete it off the credit report, so it just doesn't hit the DTI. Well, if you're an authorized user, it's not going to affect your DTI anyways. So it doesn't. So I think it doesn't really matter. But yeah, if you're just trying to get off it, then you can't. Stephanie Macias, Andy, can you pop up her card, her N card? So if you want to get a hold of FICA, this is her information. You can give her a call at 714-612-0538 at Brighter Future Credit Consulting. Also, you can email her at fica@brighterfuturecreditconsulting.com. Right? If you message us, Stephanie, we will send you her information. Okay, hopefully that helps you out there. Or send her a text, 714-612-0538. All right, all right, Stephanie. Jolene, who do you deal with if you don't want to deal with the collection department? Is there anyone else you can deal with on credit if you don't want to deal with the collection department?
I mean, you could try the original creditor, but they're always going to send you back to the collection company unless it got sold to an attorney's office, and then they'll just direct you there. So sometimes you can call the original creditor and they might work with you, but if they've already sold it, they're more than likely going to redirect you to the collection company.
Okay. Another question here. Before I go to that, the question that the Facebook that Renee is asking, Renea, how long does a derogatory stay on your credit? Like, let's say a collection, a charge off. How long do they stay? What's the law that it has to come off? As long as you leave it alone.
7 years legally, they can only report derogatory information, and for California, collect up to 4 years.
So it'll still sit on there after the 4 years. You got 3 more years, but they can't collect after 4.
Correct. Or they could hire us and we could work on getting it deleted.
Another question is, so if you know you don't pay a debt and it's into collections or charge off, right? Why do some people decide to go to credit counseling and do debt consolidation, and some people will let it sit and hopefully cross their fingers it falls off, and some people don't pay it and then they go to credit repair? Why? So there's 3 paths: credit repair, debt consolidation, or they cross their fingers and 7 years is gone. What dictates that?
Okay, so when usually from what I've seen, people will go through credit counseling because they're unable to pay the debt, and with the credit counseling or the consolidation program, that company allows them to make a monthly payment in a lump sum to pay everything off. Okay, but that is not credit repair. So anyone that's been through that knows that yes, your stuff gets paid off, but it still sits on your credit. So it really doesn't do much. And the thing about these companies is they start focusing on the smaller stuff first when they should really be focusing on the larger stuff, because the smaller stuff is not really going to, these clients are not going to get sued from these companies, and they're paying collections with, what did I say? Don't pay the collection. So when you go into these debt consolidation companies, they're just taking everything as a lump sum. And so in some cases, if a client calls me before they decide to do that, I could tell them like, hey, don't put these collections in there, but maybe these you want to. And the only reason why I would say that is if they're unable to make a negotiating amount and they're unable to pay it. So they would go with that company because they're able to give them a comfortable payment. And I don't know any credible ones. I apologize. Nobody that I could refer to. But if you are going to do debt consolidation, they do tell you to stop paying your bills, you guys. That is not going to help you if you're looking to buy a home. And it is the worst thing you could do for your credit. And that is not credit repair. And lastly is, I mean, if you don't care about buying a house and you want to wait 7 years, that's why people would wait, because they have no, immediate need to buy a car or get a loan or buy a house. So that's why they'll just wait around, because they don't really care. And they would do credit repair, I would say, because really there's a need there to be able to purchase something quickly or get a loan.
Awesome. All right, so I got a couple questions here. Renea, what's the cost for your help?
So I would have to see your credit report, and then I would be able to advise you. A lot of my clients, I could just tell them what to do, and Minh knows that too. I'll just say, hey, do this, this, and this. Not everyone needs to retain me. In some cases, I could just tell you what to do. And in some cases, once I review your credit report, I'll be able to tell you if I can even help you or not.
And keep it 100 with you guys. In 2017, my credit went to crap, and I sent FICO my credit report, and she told me exactly what to do because it was in my power to do it. She didn't charge me, but not everyone has that, not everyone does that. And I'm telling you right now, I gave my credit report to 4 people, and she's the only one that was 100 with me and didn't trying to find a way to like squeeze me. We do have clients that did use her, and they told her, okay, certain things they were able to fix by themselves, but certain things she did for them. So I like that. Instead of you going in and someone's looking for that chance just to put the squeeze on you. like I said, she has that empathy that she wants you to buy a home. She wants you to move further in life, to own a piece of America. And that's why I had her on today, because other people I have had on has not given the transparency on how to get it done. So thank you so much, FICA, for that.
You're very welcome.
Okay, another one. Thank you so much, Marie, for that comment. Alejandro, what about medical collection derogatories for $300? How can you get rid of this? Does this affect when you asked for a home loan?
So, Min, I guess you could answer that if it affects them. I'm going to say you don't use it as debt, but the collection being there obviously is affecting them. And again, if paying it is, because obviously paying it would be cheaper than going through my program. So if they're going to give you a deletion letter, in most cases, it's better to pay it for that deletion letter. But Min's given out my number. I don't charge anything for consultation. If you want to go ahead and send me a copy of your report or give me access to your Credit Karma, I can look at it and tell you exactly if there's something you could do on your own or there's something we can do for you.
Okay, give her a call, 714-612-0538, or you can email her at fica@brighterfuturecreditconsulting.com. Kathy has a question. Do you see timeshares in collections often?
Yes, all the time.
So, okay. I'm not late on any credit card payments, but I want to negotiate to reduce the payment. Is that possible? Capital One.
So yes, you can ask them to lower your interest rate. That's probably the better way to do it so it doesn't hurt your credit score. Otherwise, if you're trying to negotiate anything else, they might put you in a plan where either they close it and lower it, which is very bad for your credit because now you just lost that credit card, or they'll say you have to stop paying on it before we're going to negotiate with you anything. And again, that's going to hurt your credit score. Always the best thing to do first is try to see if you're eligible for a lower interest rate and continue to make the payment.
Wow, that was that's a great answer. I didn't know they were willing to do that. But if they do that, will it affect? You feel like they're gonna cut your credit line because you're asking for like pretty much mercy, kind of?
No, because I don't know if Capital One's going to do that. First of all, I don't think they do. There are a lot of, hey, you guys, by the way, you can, now with COVID and everything going on, a lot of companies actually are having a lot of empathy, and you can call and ask to lower your interest rate. What's the worst they're going to say? No, but a lot of them are actually lowering the interest rate. There's nothing wrong with asking, but no, as long as you're making your payments on time and you're using your card regularly, more than likely they're not going to lower your limit. But credit card companies do monitor your credit history, and if they see that your credit score is declining or you have a lot of outstanding debt, yes, again, when it comes to times like COVID season or any kind of if we're going through any kind of crisis, and I've been in this industry forever, so yeah, I have seen them close cards due to non-usage or lower balances if you're maxing out your card. So keep your credit score, and credit card usage low, and don't run your credit if you don't have to avoid all of that.
Awesome. Well, I think that's all the time we have. So everyone who watched, I really appreciate everyone who watched, who saved this video. Please save this video, share this video, and like this video. And once again, to get a hold of FICA, you can give her a call. 714-612-0538. You can call or text. You can email her also at fica@brighterfuturecreditconsulting.com. Like I said, so you recommend when they call you, they have a credit report from either their lender or from Credit Karma or from whatever agency that they pull credit on, for you to have access to it, right? A lot of people do cross out their account numbers. Is that okay? Or is there something you're looking for you don't want them to cross out so you can see if it's doable or not?
No, they could cross out their account numbers. I don't need that. I just need to see the name of the company and really just the payment history and when it was opened.
Okay. I'm going to answer these two questions here. Stephanie, I paid off a total balance on some credit cards to increase score. Should I not use them anymore? If you paid off your credit cards, I would keep a couple bucks on there. When they close out your credit card, you lose payment history and credit history. Payment history affects 35% of your credit, and history affects 15%. So if they close out your card, you will lose that history, right? Let's say it's a 10-year card, you're going to lose 10 years worth of history. So I don't recommend you just keep it at 0 forever, right? Is that correct so far?
Yeah, I'm just going to jump in real quickly. So every credit card company has a required usage time. So you could sit there and call all your credit card companies. Some do require you to use it every 6 months, some every year, some every 2 years, and et cetera, et cetera. So yes, you want to keep small balances, but keep them active and know how often you have to use these cards. It is very important to know that. So if there's a lot of cards that are sitting there that you haven't been using, get on the phone tomorrow, find out, because like Minh said, you don't want to lose that history.
Awesome. And then I think that hopefully Finey Clark, that answers your question as well. Hello, a lot of closeout account. Will it affect, let me see here. A lot of closeout account affect buying a home. If they're recent closeout account and you needed the history, it will affect your credit score on buying a home. One last one, Renee. I have 8 accounts paid off that were medical debts. They are all at 0 balance. Went to apply for a loan for a house. The lender told me looks good as they are 0, but they are still on there. I qualify for an FHA loan, no problem, but would like, of course, to have more options. I was able to contact Equifax. They removed everything I need, of course, to get one other bureau to drop it. Experience said no, they won't help till 7 years. I need TransUnion to do the same. Any tips?
I would say call me, because what I would do is I would usually ask the collection companies to give legal documents, and that's the route that I would take. And there's a letter we could provide you. It's not the same price as going through the whole credit repair program. It's very minimal, but that usually will do the trick, especially if they're paid medical.
Okay. All right. One last time, you can give her a call, 714-612-0538. You can email her, FICA at brighterfuturecreditconsulting.com. All right, FICA, thank you so much for answering all the questions. I appreciate your time. Hopefully, we can have you on again in the next couple months. You really did a lot to help our people, so thank you so much.
I appreciate you, Minh. Thank you for having me.
And we want to end all our episodes with our attitude is gratitude. Without you, there would be no us. So thank you so much, guys, and have a great night.